Hello, my name is Lisa Ellis. I own The Armorer's Wife. You can reach me at my Etsy shop anytime. And I am excited, really excited to bring you this project today. Moorish Rose is my favorite all-time weave. And there's a lot you can do with it. Most people make bracelets, but I've come up with this really nice coaster project that they work great. You know, there's holes in it, so you'd think it would not be good at stopping condensation from your glass, but that's really not true, I've found. I think it's because of the thickness of the weave that it keeps the water up on the glass. So, you know, I can't say I've run it through a professional laboratory, but I've been using these for well over a year, and the water does not soak through to your table. So that's really good to know. Let me get to the materials list. Okay, we'll predominantly be using 18 SWG 9/32 rings. You can see from the first line we'll need 244 bright aluminum rings for the center. Second line, 144 anodized aluminum rings to add an accent stripe, 144 black anodized aluminum for the border, and then we switch ring size to 18 SWG 3/16. And these are the rings to stabilize the edges, and they should match your border color, in which this case is black. So black anodized aluminum, 30 of those. So that's your supply list. Metal Designs is going to sell kits. I'm very excited about that. So check her out. She'll have everything you need. I would like to say that the 9/32 rings should work from any supplier. However, the 3/16 rings may change from supplier to supplier. You may have to be a little flexible, maybe moving up to 7/32 for the stabilized rings if there's some binding, but this pattern is tried and true with Metal Designs, and like I said, she will have kits. So let's move on. First, I want to start with the building blocks. I want to talk about how to make a Mobius. I'm sure most of you know how, but I just want to have a really good review. Whenever I'm having trouble laying something out in my hands, I lay it down and it falls right into place. Okay, this here in my fingers is a left-leaning Mobius. I want to show you one of each. Now wait, let me get this. Okay, there we go, I got it. I should have left it on the table. Okay, to tell the direction of a Mobius, let me fix this focus. There we go. Look at a ring that's coming up through the center. In this case, I'm going to look at this one. Follow it as it goes to the outside. You can see I'm moving left. So that is a left-leaning Mobius, and we don't want those at all for this project. We're working exclusively with right-leaning Mobiuses. So here's a right-leaning. And again, if you find a ring in the center and follow it out to the edge, it's going to the right. So that's how you tell the difference. And we're going to be using these right-leaning Mobiuses. So let's make one, because that's the starting point of the whole project. This will be our very center ring, and the whole project will build around it. Let me get these out of the way. Okay, so one ring closed. Open a second ring. You're going to come up through the center of the first one. Close it. Hold that first ring flat and tip the new one up and to the right. And we'll keep doing that till we have 6. So hold this flat. Come up through the center of all existing rings. Close it. Tip it up and to the right. Okay, come up through the center. of all the existing rings. Close it. Tip it up and to the right. Okay, we've got 2 more. So come up through the center. Oops, having a little trouble there. Up through the center. Close it. See, I tipped it up and to the right. The key with your Mobius is just going to keep making sure that you come up through all the existing rings and then tip the new one up and to the right. So here I'm coming up through the 5 existing rings in the working Mobius. See, come through there. Close it, and then all 6 are there. Let me put it down. When I'm making Moorish Rose, I lay things down and, oops, where are you? And tap them out all the time. You can see how gorgeous and uniform that looks. Moorish Rose has so many rings, it tends to be real jumbly a lot, so the best way to tell where you're at is to lay it down and tap it. So I will be doing that a lot. All right, so here we go. Now we're going to start round 1. I'm going to use these flashcards throughout the tutorial so that if you want to review a section, it will be easier for you to find it, easier to know where to stop when you're rewinding. And this will also create a convenient edit point for me should I need it. So round 1, here we go. Of course, with any weave, getting started is the hardest, but don't even let that word hard go into your vocabulary. You're going to see that everyone who wants to can make Moorish Rose. Okay, so we've got these 6 rings in your right-leaning Mobius. We're going to take, I'm going to use alternating colors as well to make it easier for you to follow the flow of the rings. So here's pink. I'm making the new working Mobius in pink. So I grab 2 rings, any 2 rings. When you're starting out, all these loose rings are in flux, meaning they can change position. They only stay in position once you connect a ring from a neighboring Mobius into them. So when I say choose any loose ring, I really mean it. So pick up 2. Close your ring. Okay. So if you look at these 2 rings, they're spiraling to the right. And I'm tipping the new one up into the back. Now we're going to add the second ring. These 2 Mobiuses, the existing one and the second working Mobius, are going to connect each other by 2 rings. So that's what we're doing. This one would come up through the center of the first ring, but we're going to go also through the first Mobius. Okay, let me do it again. Sometimes it's hard to see. Let me hold it as good as I can. See how there's an eye through, oh, geez. See how there's an eye through the pink one in the existing Mobius? We're going to come up right through that eye. So we're coming up through the pink one and through that eye. See, through the pink one and through, that's a good shot. There you go. Get that closed and tip it up and to the right. Now at this point, you've got all these rings banging around. Ignore these ones over here. Just actually, ignore all the silver ones. You only need to focus on the pink ones. And we're going to fill out the Mobius. Because the new working Mobius has already had all the contact it will have with the first one. So all we're going to do is fill this second Mobius, the working one, out to 6 rings. Try to be a little careful with your closures with Moorish Rose, like that last one I'm not really proud of, because it's kind of hard to go back and fix it later. You have to jump to a much smaller pair of pliers. Rings are easy to scratch because your pliers often slip. You'll notice now that when I'm building, I go in from the top down through the center of the Mobiuses. That's just a preference for me. It's much easier to go from the bottom up when you're connecting your working Mobius to the surrounding Mobiuses. But when you're just filling out your Mobius, I find it easier to go in from the top. Okay? So now we have something that looks like this. And it looks kind of a mess. Don't be dismayed. Okay. It's like in 4 sections. So take the top one, lean it left. The top one, this one on the end, lean it left. The second one, lean it right. And you'll see that's making that perfect right swirly Mobius. And then go into the pink one and do the same. The first clump, you tip left, and the second clump is right there. You tip right. So let me set that down. Move my pliers. There it is. Let me move this. I've got a new tablet to record, and this camera's in a different place, so I'm trying to adjust for that. But see, it looks all nice and pretty. So you've gotten that far. People say that is the hardest part. It's not hard at all. The next 3 rings, pay close attention, because I'd say they're the keystone to learning this weave. So here we go. Let's start the third Mobius, Mobius 2 in round 1. Okay. I always work clockwise. So I'm going to position the silver rings. I should have picked that up so that it was in proper order. You saw it got all away from me there. Don't worry about it too much, but do worry about it. You need to make sure each of your Mobiuses are lying properly. See how these are? And then carefully put your thumb over the middle so we can get to those middle rings. Okay. Right now I'm going to teach you a concept called the bridge. That's the most important concept in Moorish Rose, and the best way I can describe it. Let's fix focus there a little bit. Okay, where the pink Mobius is joining the silver Mobius. It connects 2 rings from each connect. Okay, where they connect I call a bridge. And at this step only, there's actually a possibility of 2 bridges. You could go through this bridge. Right, there we go. You could go through that bridge. It's still not very... There, see? See the bridge? Let me pull this up. It's easier to weave it than to show it. I'll get it. Okay. So the white Mobius is here. The pink is here. Where they intersect is called the bridge. I'm going to pull the thing out now. Trust me, it's there. There's also one underneath it. In theory, you could use the one underneath the bridge, but don't. It's not worth the trouble. So just use the one on top. So here we go. This is the most important ring. Okay. Pick any loose ring from the silver. I could take my time and get one that's easy to grab. Any one. And then we're going to go through the bridge. I picked up one too many, so I'm back out. See, can you see now with the ring in it how you've picked up this loose one? And then see where that green one is going through those two. I'm having more trouble showing this than I thought. It's actually very easy. Okay. Let me start it over. Don't let this make you think that it's difficult. Okay, so I'm picking up a loose ring. I can see the bridge where the 2 pink rings are with the 2 crossing the 2 white rings. Okay. They create an eye that I call a bridge. Come on. I'm trying to slide in between those 2 pink rings. There we go. And then pick up, oops. I went in between the 2 pink rings. Now I'm backing up and going through that eye. There, can you see it? Going through the silver on the right and then through the intersection of the pink with the white. Let me see if I can bring this closer. There, do you see the intersection? Like I said, there was 2 rings from the pink, 2 rings from the white. They were interlocked. Pick a loose one from the right and then go through a bridge, which is where a pink ring and a white ring interlock and form an eye that I call bridge. So you've got that. Now we pick up another loose ring of the pink, any one. So if you look, we've picked up 4 rings, and I grabbed it really well there. Let me show you. So this green ring is picking up right, left, right, left. Silver, pink, silver, pink. Just like that. Let me do it one more time. Okay, we got this hot mess. I'm going to tip it left, right to make a good Mobius. Left, right to make a good Mobius. I can lay it out on the table to be sure I've got it right. And I do, see? So pick it up very carefully to keep those rings aligned. Okay. These white rings are crossing. These 2 white rings are crossing with these 2 pink rings. Where they intersect is a bridge. Come on, focus. There, where they intersect is a bridge. See, right there. That's it, the bridge. This pink one is crossing with this silver one, and it's creating a hole. Okay? So let me pick up, where did my pink ring go? Oh, I didn't want a pink, I wanted a green. Here we go. So pick up any loose ring on the right. This is not focusing. There we go. Pick up any loose ring on the right. Go through that bridge that you can see. Ah, got it right away. See? Oh, that's the shot I was trying to get. There it is. And now you pick up one more pink, any loose ring. And you can see the crisscross pattern going from the bottom. You've got silver on the right, pink on the left, silver on the right, pink on the left. So you close your ring. Okay, now you've got rings falling all over again. Just kind of hold on to your green ring and push these out to the side, like that. Reason being, you want to be able to see all the rings you just went through, because the next ring will go through the two pink you've already gone through, and then the next ring will go through these silver ones you've already gone through. So let me pick up my pliers. Remember, we're making a Mobius, so come up through the center. I don't like how that's focusing. Let's try again. There we go. Fumble fingers. All right, here we go. So come up through the green one and pick up those two pink ones you'd already grabbed before. See, just like that. That's a really good shot of it. And then the next one, we're going to jump to the right. See, let these loose rings just fall out of your way. You don't need them. We're going to go through these two silver rings that we already went through with the first one. And go up through the center of the working Mobius, like that. See, so you've picked up those two silver rings, and you've come up through the center of your Mobius. Okay, let's look at it now. Oops, get my hand off the camera. Here we go. So if you have got to this spot, you have got Moorish Rose nailed. The rest of it is very straightforward. We don't do anything more complicated than this. We have bridge rings like this one, then a ring to the left that picks up 2, a ring to the right that picks up 2. The only difference, right now we're connecting 2 Mobiuses, so we have 1 bridge. When we're connecting 3 Mobiuses, we'll have 2 bridges, but it's the exact same procedure. So if you've gotten this far, you've got it. So now you can see that the next thing we have to do is fill out this Mobius to 6. We're not going through any more white or pink. We're just filling out the green to 6. Let me get my pliers. So ignore all the flippy floppy rings. Big part of Moorish Rose is knowing when to ignore all the extraneous rings, because you're not dealing with them all at once, so don't even give them any attention. There's our working Mobius. Go through the center and put in the 4th one. Tip it up to the right. Go through the center of all of them. Tip it up and to the right. Go through the center of all of them. Tip it up and to the right. Okay, I'm going to lay it down again. Like I said, I lay my work down a lot, and I tap it a lot, because Moorish Rose, when it's woven right, should be very fluid. It should feel nice and loose. If it starts to bind up on you anytime, you know you've made a mistake, and that's when you examine it to see if you can find the mistake. And you really, you know, you may need to backtrack or whatever, but we feel the Moorish Rose quite a bit. Okay, so I'm working I'm working clockwise. So the next one would go right here. I'm going to use pink. And like I said before, we are connecting 2 Mobiuses. That means there would be 1 bridge, and you can see it right there. I'm glad I laid this down. This is a good shot. A lot of times, like I said, if you lay it down, the connections become really easy to see. It's when you pick it up, things start to move around. So we're going to pick up a loose one. We're going to go through the bridge, and we're going to pick up a loose one. All right. So picking it up, I'm going to use a pink Mobius this time. Got this jumble in my hands. You can see that bridge. Tap. You can see that bridge right there. That is what we're going to be going through. Pick up a loose one, go through the bridge, pick up a loose one. Okay, a loose one. Dropped it. Go through the bridge. Can you see it? There. Can you see I went through the bridge? And now I pick up any loose one of the green. And then you can see that just like before, picked a silver on the right, green on the left, silver on the right, green on the left. That's how we're interlocking the 2 neighboring Mobiuses. So I'll close this bugger up. Again, I'm letting all these extraneous rings fall. They don't matter yet. And this is what we've got. Okay, so another pink one. Pink one, we're going to jump left and pick up those, come up through the center of the pink and go through the 2 green ones that we already went through before. Okay, that's a good shot. Okay, next pink one, we're going to jump to the right and pick up the 2 silver ones that we've already picked up with the bridge. Come up through the center of the working Mobius and close your ring. So this is what we've got. I'm going to put it down. I'm tapping it. It's hard to tap with one hand, so okay, get my hand off the camera. All right. Okay, so these are what lay down nicely, guys. Play. See, I'm tapping it, nudging them all into position. When I felt it, it felt very flexible. I have the bridge ring in the middle, and then I jumped left and jumped right. So now we're just going to fill out this Mobius to 6. Now if you're working with all BA, you won't have these neat colors to help you keep oriented, so I'm going to note the shapes as we go. So right now we're making a diamond. Let me finish that diamond out. So I have 3 pink rings in the working Mobius. So let's fill it out to 6. So here's our 3 rings. Going to go down through the center. Close it, tip it up and to the right. Go through the center. Close it, up and to the right. Through the center. If you're not sure you're through the center, count the rings that you can see there. I can count 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I know I'm through the center. It's kind of a double check. And then tip it up and to the right. I'm going to lay it down again. Tap everything in place. You see I've got a really nice diamond. So at the next step, you can see pretty clearly that the next Mobius is going to go right here, and I'm joining these two. So I'm going to add the next Mobius because I'm working clockwise. So I'm going to add the next Mobius here, and it'll join these two. If you're working in all bright aluminum, it'll not be so obvious. So all you need to know is this is a diamond, and pick any side and add another Mobius to it. Okay, we're connecting 2 Mobiuses, so it'll be a 1 bridge Mobius. I'll show you how to make a 2 bridge Mobius soon, but not until the last one in this round, in round 1. So okay, let's add the next one. Okay, I'm holding the pink and the white. Need to make sure some are loose. Okay, the bridge. Is right here. There, can you see the bridge? My pointer is gray, so it's a little hard to see it there. See the bridge? Right there. So we're going to do a green one. We pick up a loose one from the right. Come on. Got it. I just open up the bridge a little bit. Can you see it? So I go through the bridge. Got it. And then pick up a loose one on the left. Any one. And then if you study it, you can see the rings are right, left again. Close up that ring. Pull those extra rings out of your way. There you go. Okay, we jump left, go through the center of the green one, and pick up the 2 pink ones we've already gone through. Then we jump right. Sometimes it's hard to tell which of the right rings that you already went through because it's hard to visually see that bridge ring as it's going through the mass of rings. But if you just hold it loosely in your hands and encourage these to fan down, let me show you. Encourage these to fan. You'll see one is clearly on the bottom. This is on the bottom, so that's not it. The 2 are going to always rise to the top. Okay? Up through the center of the working Mobius. Okay, so we've got the 3 rings in that connect us to the previous 2 Mobiuses. So now we just fill it out to 6. Through the center. We now have 4. Through the center. We now have 5. Always tipping up and to the right. Through the center. And this will be the 6th one. And I'm going to lay it down. Tap it, feel for any binding. you see what we've developed here is we have 2 rows and 3 rows. With the colors, we can see the next one will go right here. I'll make it pink, and it'll join these two. If you're working all in silver, just look at the 2-row, 3-row pattern. You know you need another 2 Mobius in a row, 3 Mobius in a row pattern. You know we're going to want to have 2 Mobius here. So go ahead and put it here to join these two. So we're going to have, let me see about that. Yes, I got a new thing to show you this time. Not a biggie, just a cute little thing. Okay. So we're adding, we've got center Mobius, green Mobius. You can see the bridge right here. Let me try to move my fingers. Finding the bridge is easier than I'm making it, than it seems like with this video. Here's the bridge. Oops, right here. Right there. Okay, now when you're doing a 1 bridge Mobius, you remember you jump left and you jump right. And we've always picked up a loose ring when we're putting the bridge on the right. Oh, you know what? I'm getting ahead of myself. Don't even worry about that. That comes later. Okay, new Mobius, joining these. So pick up the loose ring through the bridge, loose ring on the left. It's a good shot. Loose ring on the right, through the bridge, loose ring on the left. Okay. So now we jump left and grab the 2 green rings we've already picked up with the bridge. Grab our 3rd ring, go through the 2 white rings we've already gone through on the right, come up through the center of the Mobius. And as before, we'll fill it out to 6. Okay. I didn't show you what that looked like in my hand because you've seen it a bunch. Okay, so I'm tapped this out. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 Mobiuses around a center. So we need to add this last one, which I'll make green. And you see that before we were attaching new Mobiuses to pairs. Now you can see this is we're gonna be attaching new Mobius to 3. And this is where you'll use 2 jump rings, because a jump ring, not a jump ring, a bridge ring, because a bridge connects these 2 Mobiuses and a bridge connects these 2 Mobiuses. Now that little thing I tried to tell you just a minute ago, I jumped ahead, is normally there would be a loose in the Mobiuses we've made up till now with one bridge Mobiuses. This ring has always been loose, but because there is already Mobius here, this ring is not loose. So when you're choosing it, it's just the ring that's over the top. See, so not a big difference. So let's show you how to make that 2-bridge Mobius. I think you've already got it, but it's good to see it first, firsthand. Okay. Remember, we don't have to look at all the loose rings at once. Let's focus on that pink-white intersection. You can see the bridge. It may be hard for you to see, but I can see it. See, it's right there. You're going to get very, very good at finding the bridges. It really is easier to find it when you have more freedom of movement. I have to stay in the frame here, and it makes it a little harder for me to flip it around because I don't want you to see my hands all the time. So I pick up this ring that's going over the top, and then I go through the bridge, and I pick up a loose one. And as before, I'm going to jump left and pick up the 2 pink ones I'd already picked up. All right, now since it's a 2-bridge Mobius, instead of jumping to the right and grabbing 2 rings, we're putting in a bridge. So right now I want you to focus on the green working Mobius, the silver, and the pink. And if you look, you can see the bridge. It's right there. Let me make sure the focus is on really well. Where the white crosses the pink, it's right there. Okay. So like putting any other bridge, you pick up a loose one from the pink. Go through the bridge. See right there, go through the bridge. And then you have to reach to the back. You have to reach the back because we're not picking up a loose one. We're picking up one of those silver rings, and it's always in the back. So that one that's sticking out and just is screaming, "Pick me up," that's the one. So you grab that one. And if you look at it, let me see. If you look at it, you've got hold on. Sometimes it's hard to make it easy to see. Okay. No, this just isn't going to happen. Okay, I can't show it to you that way right now. Ah, there it is. Look, you're going to have the right, left, right, left. You probably still can't see it, but that bridge ring is, as always, interlocking those 2 Mobiuses. So don't forget that ring in the back. That is a common error. Happens a lot. Oops, did you see what I did there? I closed the bridge ring and I didn't go through the working Mobius. So here we go. Okay, so we've got 3 rings in. Now we jump right and pick up those 2 pink rings we've already gone through. Go back through the working Mobius. And then we fill it out. We're going to be doing that lots more times, so don't think you have to keep rewinding that spot if you just want to watch the video all in one go for the first time. We'll be doing that a lot more times. So there we go. I think it's so pretty. Well, that concludes round 1. You have absolutely learned all the skills you need to know except for stabilizing the edges of the completed piece. But I'm going to start you through rounds 2 and rounds 3 just to really get home the technique. And then I'm going to take you through troubleshooting, and then we'll work on the accent stripe and finishing up. Okay, so let's start. I'm going to say we're going to put rounds 2 and 3 in one section because, you know, the rows are the same every time. So let's get started. I'm going to switch from this piece to, this is a very important part of round 2. Marking the center. Please, 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 please mark the center. Because, sorry, I was off camera. All I did was take this out so I could put it back in. There's such a jumble of rings, and once you start adding new rings, it's really hard to keep track of center. And what you end up with is pieces that aren't of the right shape, and you don't know where to build onto next. So please, please, please take a pipe cleaner or take a bread tie and fold it in half and fold it in half again and put it through the center to mark it. You'll be so happy if you do that. Okay, so it's an easy way to mark it. Okay, here's my pliers. All right, we're starting on round 2. Let's look at an edge. I've got 2 Mobiuses. We're going to connect with the working Mobius, and we're joining 2 Mobiuses, so there'll be 1 bridge. So you know how to do this real well. But it really helps when you're learning a weave to see the repetition and how the patterns develop. So just like before, I'm going to pick up a loose one. Here we go, loose one. Go through the bridge and pick up another loose one. Okay. Come up through the center. Pick up the jump left and pick up those 2 we've already gone through. Pick up another one and go through the 2 rings on the right that we've already gone through. Come up through the center of your working Mobius. So you can see the technique is just like before when we're adding a working Mobius and joining it to 2. So we've got the first 3 rings in that connect to the existing Mobiuses, and now we just need to fill it out. Always to 6. So I'm going through all 3. Tipping up and to the right. Going through all 4. Tipping up and to the right. Going through all 5. And tipping up and to the right. Okay, so I've got that one. Let's look at it again. So the silver is round 1. We've added the first Mobius of round 2, one bridge because of 2 existing Mobiuses. When we add the next Mobius right here, you'll be combining, joining, adding to 2 existing Mobiuses again. So this will also be a 1 bridge Mobius. Figuring out if you need 1 bridge or 2 bridges is really very, very easy. I'll keep stressing it at first. Okay, I picked up the loose one. I see the bridge. That's a good shot of the bridge. Okay, and then a loose one from the blue. Close up my Mobius. There's the join. You can see I'm going to jump left and pick up those 2 rings that I've already gone through before. Then I'm going to jump to the right and pick up those 2 that I've already picked up before. All right, so now I'm going to fill out my Mobius. Go through 3. Go through 4. Go through 5. Okay, lay it down and tap it out. My new tablets, the camera's in a different place, so I keep putting my sample down too far to the left. Okay. So I just put that in. I was joining 2, so it was a 1 bridge Mobius. Now my next one is joining 3, 2, 3. So it'll be a 2 bridge Mobius. So let's do that. We've done it again, and repetition is really helpful. Okay, so here, remember when you're doing a 2 bridge Mobius, there's not going to be a loose ring here. It'll be a ring that goes over the top because it's all, the loose ring is already held in place here. So we pick up this ring on top and we go through the bridge. You can see the bridge real clearly right there in front of my fingernail. Went through the bridge, and now I'll pick up a loose one. See, there we go. Okay, so jump left, pick up the 2 rings we picked up already, and now we're going to put in that second bridge ring on the right. So let's right away point out that bridge right there. Okay, so pick up a loose ring, go through the bridge. Now where do we go? Remember, we go to that ring that's sticking up in the back. See this one right here? We pick him up. Let me see if I can. If you look at it from the back, I'm not sure if this will help. Let's try it. See, he's in that same Mobius. He's just in the back. A lot of times you might accidentally miss that one, and that causes a problem that I'll show you later. So okay, I went through the loose ring on the right. I did a bridge. Well, let me say this again. I did the first bridge, jumped left to get those two, did the second bridge, and I'll put that through the working Mobius. So now we're gonna pick up those two rings that we've picked up before, go through the center of the working Mobius, so we've got 4 rings in there, and now we're going to fill out the Mobius to 6. Okay, lay it down. So we finished that row. Looks really good, and if you feel it, it's very flexible. It's perfect. So now you turn it, and we start another row. And by experience now, you'll know that this will be a 1 bridge Mobius, and then once that's in place, this one will be a 2 bridge Mobius. I'm wondering, let's just go ahead and add them. No harm done. Okay, pick up a loose ring, go through the bridge, pick up a loose ring, and close. We jump left to pick up the two blue rings that we've already picked up. And then we jump right to pick up the 2 rings we've already picked up. Add it to your working Mobius. We've got 3 rings attached. Now we fill it out. Sorry, I moved off screen, but I'm just filling out the Mobius. I've got 5 rings in right now. And I'm putting in the 6th. There we go. So now you can easily see that the next one will be joining 3 Mobiuses. So 2 bridges. All right, we're going to do that in blue. Let me get these rings closer. I'm starting to have to reach for them. Okay. 2 bridge Mobius. Remember, the ring over the top is not going to be loose of this first bridge. It's going to go over the top. Then you go through the bridge, and then a loose one on the left. Close your ring. Pick up those other 2 rings we'd already. already picked up. Now we're going to put in the second bridge. So pick up a loose ring from this next Mobius, go through the bridge. Oops, I'm having trouble grabbing them. There we go. There's a hair on there now. Okay, went through the bridge. Now pick up that sneaky guy in the black. There in the back. There you can see him really well. There we go. Got him. Then go through your working Mobius. Now you jump right and pick up the two you'd already grabbed. And now we fill out to 6. Pick up the 4. So you can see how this is going really well. The next one would go here. You'd be joining 2, 1 bridge Mobius. Next one would go here, hook up with this Mobius, and then 2, 3. So 2 bridge Mobius. And you just keep going that way all around. It's so simple. Like I said, if you could do round 1, which I think you can, I'm sure you can, then the rest of this build out is really, really simple. You just keep working in the same manner. If I went all the way around this piece, we'd then have a piece. If you see, there are three Mobiuses on each edge. And there's a center, round 1, and round 2. So this is how large it will be after the second round. Now, the third round, yes. Let me mark the center because that's just always a good habit. After the third round, you are going to end up with 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 Mobiuses along each edge. And you can keep track of where you're at because this is the center, round 1, round 2, round 3. This will be the center part of your coaster. Put this here and this here. Come on, pliers are in the way. It's harder to do this with one hand because I have to hold the camera. Okay, so this is the finished coaster here, and you can see that the edge of the center, there's 1, 2, 3, 4 Mobiuses. And at the end of round 3, there are 1, 2, 3, 4 Mobiuses. So this is how far we've gotten. Okay, you are doing great. Now I'm going to talk about round 4, the racing stripe. Okay, moving on to round 4. We've finished the center part in bright aluminum, so now we're going to add the racing stripe. And as you've guessed, there's nothing different about it except we've changed color. That's it. So if you're doing an accent color, which I'd strongly recommend, do it now. Okay? So that's it with round 4. but I wanted to point it out to make sure that you got the color change. Okay, now at this point, I want to start troubleshooting, because learning Moorish Rose, there's a lot going on. I've tried to tell you to ignore all the superfluous flippy floppy rings, just concentrate on the few that you need. But it's still a lot to take in all at once when you're first starting. And in fact, I still make some of these mistakes. You get into the zone and it just happens. So let me show you the first mistake that can often happen. Ignore this part here. This is the next demo. Okay, so you can see I've been working along real nicely. Everything's going perfect. On this round, there's 5 Mobiuses on an edge. And then I got here, and all of a sudden when I was adding my rings, it it bit deep into the pattern. This ring is just clearly wrong. It's reaching clear down to here, and it's reaching wide, and it's just not supposed to do that. So the culprit is almost always here. If you look at this Mobius, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. See, this happens. Sometimes you just lose your train of thought and you put in one too many. So take this out, take this out, take out the extra ring, and then continue. Okay? Now, another really common thing is the opposite problem. I'm weaving along really well. I turn the corner, and then the rings I need just aren't there. And it's just not looking right. It's something you maybe not actually see until you go another Mobius or two, but if you tap it, you can tell that something is amiss because it's riding too high on this ring. It feels forced. So like before, the culprit is going to be right here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's a problem. So take this one out and add that extra ring right here. So easy peasy. Not a big problem. Sometimes it might take you longer to find the problem, which will make you have to take out more Mobiuses to correct it, but it happens to all of us. Okay, okay. This mistake is maddening. Okay, so I was putting on my racing stripe. It was all going good. And it looks fine. It looks perfect. Look, I've got my perfect triangles here. I love Moorish Rose. It's just so pretty. You've got all these perfect triangles. Looks great. All these rings are holding hands, I call it. Every swirl you got holding hands. It's wonderful. But it just doesn't feel right. There's rigidity when I tap it. And if you look, if I, how do I explain that? If I tap here, do you see this ring here wiggling? If I tap over here, do you see that ring on the right wiggling? Okay, this is an obvious problem. So if you turn it over, tap it, you start to look for your perfect triangles, and look at this mess. What happened here is I forgot to pick up that back ring. So if you look at it, these 2 rings here should be holding hands. This ring should be grabbing that ring. So can you see it there? There should be a nice triangle, and these triangles are all messed up. So I don't know if I can show you how to fix it because I don't have a third hand. Normally you would have to take out these and these. Yes, you'd have to take out those and then re-add. There is a way to fix it without doing those. It's a pain. What you do is you'd open up this ring, open it up the opposite way than you... no, you'd open up this ring, open it up the opposite the way you normally do, and as little as you can, and then you hook it underneath this one and then close it. You have to move to your smaller jawed pliers or it's hopeless. I'm going to take a risk and see if I can do this holding it in my hand. It's usually something I do while it's lying on the table. If this doesn't turn out, it's okay because I already explained it. I think you have the idea. So for here, I'm switching to my chain nose and my oblique nose. Let me get those out of the way. Come on. Okay, so these rings here should be holding hands. So what I'm going to do is grab this ring and find where it opens. I'm kind of spinning it around. Sometimes trying to find the opening is hard. Okay, I found the opening of the ring. Normally I open my rings the right side towards me, but I'm going to do the opposite. I'm going to do the left side towards me, and that's why I hate doing this because I invariably slip. I'm pulling the left side towards me as little as I possibly can. And then I'm going to scoop under that ring, the ring it should be holding hands with. Yep. And now the hard part is closing this ring. That's why you really need your small jawed pliers and give that ring a close. This is where your pliers will slip. You'll be mad. You'll drop it. But I think I actually got it closed before I dropped it. No, I did not. Yeah, the smaller jawed pliers really help a lot. Okay, let me lay it back down. Let me see, where was the problem? The problem was right in here. Now when I touch it, it's very flexible. It's awesome. And all my little triangles are perfect. And all the little rings are holding hands. So yes, that is the biggest problem I think you'll ever have. And you can do it. You can fix it. Now that you know to look for it, you can do it. Okay, the next thing I'm going to show you is not a problem at all. Let's say you've flipped your work over a couple times and you were going clockwise and then you flipped it and go on clockwise and you kind of paint yourself into a corner here. Usually we end right on an end. And normally as we work, we have 1 or 2 bridge Mobiuses. Well, you can see with this one, because we have to join 1, 2, 3, 4 Mobiuses, we're going to have 3 bridges. 1 bridge, 2 bridge, 3 bridge. So let me show you how that works. I'm going to use, looks like I've got some, oops, let me go back to my preferred pliers. I've got some blue rings here. Okay. So let's do this thing. All right. Pick up that ring across the top. Go through the bridge. Pick up a loose ring on the left. Okay, we've done that lots and lots of times. Second ring, we jump to the left and pick up the 2 rings we've already gone through. Okay, the next ring is going to be the second bridge. We're going to grab this ring across the top. Oops, there we go. We've already joined these first two. Now we're going to join these two. So grab that ring going across the top. Come on. Go through the bridge and then grab that guy in the back. I'm not sure you can see him, but there you go. There you go. See, you can see all of them. The ring on the right, the bridge, and the ring in the back. So then add this ring to your working Mobius. Now we're going to add our third bridge. Okay. The blue Mobius connected these two Mobiuses. Now we need to connect the working Mobius to these two Mobiuses. So the bridge is going to be here. So pick up one of the loose rings. You can see the bridge. Go through the bridge. And then grab that sinker in the back. Okay. It's kind of hard to see on here. There we go. You can see the loose ring on the right, the bridge, and then the guy in the back. So then put it in through your working Mobius. Your next one is going to pick up those two rings on the right that we've already gone through. And then we only need to add one more to build out to 6. And there we go. Tap it out. No real reason to, but let's just do it. There, a perfect little patch job. See, nothing to worry about. Okay, let's see what I got lined up here for next. Next, we're almost finished because we finished the center and we've finished the racing stripe or the accent stripe. Now we're gonna do row 5 will be the border row. In my coasters, I'm using that as black. The finished coasters are black, but that is really hard to film. So for my demonstration, I'm using pink. Okay, so let's do row 5 border row. Okay, one thing let me see. One thing that's different about the border row than, let me tap it. All right. In all the previous rows up until now, we've always used six ring Mobiuses. It's essential. But on the border row, we're only going to use 5. And the reason for this is that all these loose rings waiting for the next row don't need to be there because this is the last row. Oops, there's a couple I forgot. I forgot to take them all out of the corners. Anyway, this will show you. So, let me put it down again. Okay, so all of these had 5. The corners should only have 4. Remember when I was just holding it up and those corners had that floppy ring? That's because the corners only need 4. I'll take one out and I'll show you. That's it's easy to get distracted. Your brain gets so used to putting 6 rings. Sometimes it has adjusting to only using 5. I can't find, there's the join. Okay, so I'm going to take out this 5th ring, and now you can see that corner looks nice and tidy. Here I forgot and had 5 rings in the corner and it looks messy. Here there's 4 rings in the corner. It looks great. So to review, 5 rings on each of the edge Mobiuses and only 4 rings in a corner. And it's real easy, as I showed you, to see if you've missed some. So just take them out. Just take them out. Take them out carefully so you can reuse them. You know, don't mangle them, so you can reuse them to finish your project. So that's it. That's the border row. So let's talk about finishing. Because you can see that even though we took out those extra rings, the here, let me show you my card. We're going to talk about finishing. And the reason, what we're going to do is add stabilizers, because even though taking out those extra rings, it's still pretty floppy. In a normal piece, in a finished piece, that one's not finished. See how tidy these edges are? They're really stable, and that's because I put in stabilizer rings. So I'm going to show you how to do that right now. Okay, so you won't believe how easy this is. Let me get my pliers. Okay, the 18 SWG 3/16 rings, this is what we're using for the stabilizers. Let me set this down. And you can see I've already put some in. What I'm doing here is I'm picking up a ring across the top and then the eye in front of it. A ring across the top and then the eye in front of it. It might be hard to see that eye. That's why I'm going to add some more, so it'll be easy. Okay. See, without the stabilizers, these rings tend to fold down. Push them back. Get the one across the top. And right in front of it, it's harder to see when you're on a corner. Right in front of it is going to be an eye. There, can you see the eye? Hold on. I can show you better on the next one. Okay, so for the next one, take that ring, flop down to the bottom, and we want to grab that. And then this eye right here, we're going to want to go around it, not through it. Up till now, we've always been going through eyes, through bridges, but this time we're going around them. So pick up this, oops, that won't work. So pick up this ring on top. Actually, if you pick up the ring behind it and scoot forward, there you're going to find the eye. Let me try to get a better shot. Hold on, I'm just trying to figure out how to show it the best. It's a really easy concept, but for some reason I'm having a hard time showing it. Okay, so this is the ring in the front. Here's the eye right there. Right there is the eye. So go around that. See, this ring is coming back up on the other side. And then close the rings. Let's do it again. Focus up. There we go. Okay, so pick up this loose ring. And you see the eye there. Go back up there where you were. Okay, this is the eye, and we're going to go around it. Where did my ring go? There it is. Okay, so the loose one is leaning forward. Pick it up. Go down on the bottom of the eye and come up on the top of the eye. I'm trying to find the exact right way to show it. There, can you see it there? Loose ring at the top, and then there's that eye. So, and then you come up over the, on top of the eye, not through it. This is harder to show than I was expecting. Let me lay it flat. Okay, this is good. So you pick up this loose one. Here is the eye. You go down through the loose one, down through here, under the eye, and up through there. There, that's a good way to show it. Pick up the loose one, down through here, go under the eye, come up on top of it. Okay? That's all there is to it. So let's do it again. Picking up the one that's leaning forward, down through to the right of the eye, up through the left of the eye, not through the eye, up to the left of the eye. See? Now let me show you, sometimes doing the corners, they feel tight, they feel like they're wrong, but let me show you that they are not. First of all, let me fix, no, I have four rings on that corner. Remember, just 4 rings on the corner Mobius. Pick up the one that's flopping down. It's going to be hard to go from here to the eye sometimes. So if you poke it down above the eye way over here and then slide it over, and then you can come up where you need to be on the other side of the eye. Let me try to focus that. There we go. All right. I'm sorry this section didn't show like I would like, but I think you can see when I was laying it down on the mat just how really simple it is. So you're going to get an edge that looks like this. Now this would be the back side, because if you turn it over, you can see how, let me lay it down. You can see how the stabilizing rings really kind of just fit into the weave. You don't even notice them. And especially when your stabilizing rings are the same color as your border, you just cannot see them. So that's nice. But even on the back side, you can't see them. They look fine. So, my goodness, I believe that's the end of the project. I really think this is going to do well for you. If you have trouble, don't get discouraged. Lay your pliers down for a little while and come back to it. I use the index cards to make it easier for you to rewind sections. And I guess I really don't have anything to add. Thanks for joining me today, and happy mailing. Bye-bye.